You've been waiting your whole life for this moment, and yet you don't even realize it. Right now, as you listen, there's a quiet war inside you. A voice that whispers, "Be good. Please them. Don't make waves. Don't disappoint." And another voice, buried so deep it almost feels like a stranger, whispers back, "What about me? When will it be my turn?" You feel it, don't you? That constant pull, the weight of expectations, the invisible chains of other people's approval. Every choice you've made until now, was it really yours? Or was it crafted by the invisible hands of family, society, friends, lovers, everyone except you? Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But here's the question nobody asks you. What happens the very moment you finally choose yourself above all else? This is not just another motivational video. This is a mirror, and I want you to stand in front of it without flinching. Before we go further, I want you to write this sentence in the comments. I choose myself. Not for me, for you, to mark the exact moment you decided that your life belongs to you. Because listen closely, the moment you choose yourself, everything changes. Not a little, not slowly, I mean everything. Your relationships shift, your energy shifts, your very reality bends in a way that feels almost supernatural, because the world you see is nothing more than a reflection of the choices you make. And for the first time, you'll be making them for you. But before we go there, let me ask you, how many times have you betrayed yourself just to keep someone else comfortable? Think about it. The yes you said when your whole body was screaming no, the late nights you gave away, the dreams you buried, the silence you swallowed, all because you thought choosing yourself was selfish. What if I told you the opposite is true? What if I told you the greatest betrayal is the betrayal of the self, and the deepest loyalty you could ever practice is the loyalty to your own soul? Right now, you're standing at a threshold, and once you step through, there is no going back. You'll never again see the world the same way. This story, it's not about success tips. It's not about quick motivation. It's about awakening. It's about the raw, terrifying, electrifying moment you realize, I have only one life, and it belongs to me. Stay with me, because what happens next will shake the foundations of everything you thought you knew about yourself.
But let's be honest, choosing yourself is not easy. It is not soft or gentle or instantly rewarding. It is brutal. It is raw. And at first, it feels like loss. You will lose people. You will lose habits. You will lose pieces of the old you that you thought you couldn't live without. And this is where most people turn back. They whisper, maybe I should just stay the same. Maybe comfort is safer than freedom. But you, if you're still listening right now, you're different. Something inside you knows that comfort is nothing but a cage lined with velvet. It feels soft, yes, but it still locks you away from the life you were meant to live. Carl Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Think about that. Every time you deny yourself, you're not choosing fate. You're just letting your unconscious chains drag you along like a puppet. So here's the cost. When you choose yourself, you will disappoint people. You will walk away from rooms where you no longer belong. You will stop carrying responsibilities that were never yours in the first place. And people will talk. They will label you. They will project their fear of freedom onto you. But here's the reward. For the first time in your life, you will wake up in the morning and feel like the day belongs to you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your boss, not society, you. And the hidden secret? The moment you choose yourself, You stop needing validation. You stop craving approval. You stop waiting for someone to clap for you. Because deep down, you realize you were the applause you were waiting for all along. Imagine this. Instead of asking, "What will they think?" your first question becomes, "What do I feel?" Instead of shrinking your dreams to fit into someone else's comfort zone, you expand them until they terrify you in the best possible way. And suddenly, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you create. This is the hidden reward no one talks about. The reward isn't more money, more followers, more admiration. It's something infinitely greater. The unshakable peace of knowing you were finally living your own story. And here's the twist. Once you reach that point, the external rewards begin to flow anyway. Not because you're chasing them, but because the universe bends to authenticity. When you're aligned with your true self, opportunities appear, doors open. People who resonate with your light are magnetized toward you. But you can't fake this. You can't trick life into giving you the prize without paying the cost. And the cost is clear. The death of the old you, the people pleaser, the pretender, the mask wearer. Yes, it feels like death, but Carl Jung would tell you, every death is also a birth. And the person who is born when you choose yourself, that person is unstoppable.
Something strange happens the moment you choose yourself. At first, it's not visible to anyone else. No lightning bolt strikes, no trumpet sounds. On the surface, your life looks the same. But inside? Inside, entire continents begin to move. It feels unsettling, like the ground beneath your feet is cracking open, because it is. The foundation of who you thought you were begins to collapse. Carl Jung wrote about this collapse. He called it the confrontation with the shadow. The shadow is everything you've denied, suppressed, buried. The anger you swallowed, the desires you labeled wrong, the dreams you silenced because someone laughed at you. When you choose yourself, you're not just saying yes to your soul, you're also opening the door to all the ghosts you locked away. And they don't come quietly. They roar. They demand to be seen. This is why so many people are terrified of freedom. Because freedom is not just the absence of chains, it is the presence of truth. And truth, my friend, is heavy. You'll notice your thoughts shifting. Suddenly, the things you tolerated feel unbearable. The words you once stayed silent about begin to burn on your tongue. Your body itself rebels when you try to betray it again. It's as if your entire being has united against your old patterns. And then comes the loneliness. Yes, loneliness. Because when you stop performing for others, when you stop playing the role they handed to you, you step onto a stage where the audience disappears. For the first time, there is silence. For the first time, you are alone with yourself. But listen carefully. This loneliness is not punishment. It is initiation. It is the sacred silence in which you finally hear your own voice. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming your true self, requires this confrontation. You must face the fragments of your soul you abandoned. You must shake hands with your shadow. And in doing so, you reclaim your wholeness. The shift is not easy. You will feel anger rise where you once felt shame. You will feel grief surface for the years you lost pretending. You will even feel fear, because stepping into your own life means leaving behind the familiar cage. But within that storm, something extraordinary emerges. Clarity. A vision so sharp it feels almost painful. The fog lifts, the lies dissolve, and suddenly you see not who they told you to be, not who you pretended to be, but who you have been all along.
This is the moment Jung called the encounter with the self. Not the mask, not the ego, but the eternal, indestructible core of you. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
At first, this vision feels like a blessing. But soon, you realize it comes with a price. Because the moment you begin to live as your true self, the world you built on lies begins to crumble. Friends who once laughed with you now look at you with suspicion. Family members who praised you for being obedient suddenly accuse you of being rebellious. Colleagues who admired your silence now bristle when you speak your truth. It feels as though the ground is falling away beneath you, and in many ways, it is. Because the world you lived in was not real. It was a stage, a performance, a carefully constructed illusion. And illusions cannot survive the light of authenticity. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Why terrifying? Because once you do, the masks fall, yours and everyone else's. You begin to notice the games people play, the roles they hide behind, the chains they pretend not to feel. And suddenly, you can no longer participate. This is the collapse. The old life dissolves. The old identity disintegrates. And the people who only knew you by your mask begin to fade away with it. It hurts. It feels like loss after loss, goodbye after goodbye. But hidden beneath that pain is a secret few ever discover. Every collapse is also a clearing. Every ending creates space for a beginning. Look closely. For every friend who drifts away, someone new appears, someone who sees you, not your mask. For every door that slams shut, another quietly opens, leading to paths you never imagined. For every old comfort that crumbles, a deeper, wilder freedom takes its place. This is why choosing yourself changes everything. Not just because you feel different inside, but because reality itself begins to rearrange around you. It bends, it reshapes, it mirrors back the truth you finally dared to embody. And here is the paradox. The more the old world resists you, the clearer your new world becomes. Chaos becomes a compass. Loss becomes guidance. Pain becomes proof that you are at last alive. So you keep walking, even as the familiar burns behind you. You keep choosing yourself, even when it costs you the comfort of approval. And in that fire, you realize something astonishing. You are not losing your life, you are reclaiming it.
But reclaiming is not quiet. It is not graceful. It is a storm. And in the center of that storm, something miraculous begins to happen. You are reborn. Not in a single dramatic instant, but piece by piece, breath by breath, choice by choice. You wake up one morning and realize the silence that once terrified you now feels like peace. The loneliness that once hollowed you out now feels like freedom. The no that used to stick in your throat now leaves your lips with power and ease. This is the alchemy Jung spoke of, the transformation of darkness into light, the integration of the shadow into the self, the discovery that you were never broken, only buried. And as you rise, something shifts in the world around you. New people appear, not the ones drawn to your mask, but the ones drawn to your soul. They don't need you to be small. They don't ask you to hide. They don't punish your truth. They mirror it. Your energy changes. It hums, it radiates. It frightens those who are still asleep, but it calls out to those who are waking. And without even trying, you become a beacon. Opportunities surface in places you never looked. Doors open that once seemed sealed shut. Why? Because the universe bends to authenticity. The moment you stop betraying yourself, life itself stops betraying you. And yet, here lies another paradox. The rebirth is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you have always been. The child who dreamed without fear. The soul who longed for truth more than comfort. The wild, untamed presence that existed long before the world told you to sit down, be quiet, stay small. Carl Jung believed that within each of us lives the self, the eternal center, the archetype of wholeness. To choose yourself is to awaken this self, to step into alignment with it, to live as though your very existence is the answer to a question only you were born to ask. And once this rebirth begins, there is no turning back. You can no longer dim your light to keep others comfortable. You can no longer chain yourself to a life that doesn't fit. Because once you've tasted freedom, obedience becomes impossible. This is why everything changes. Not because the world outside has shifted, but because you have. And when you change, reality has no choice but to follow.
But remember this, rebirth is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of something deeper, integration. Because the self is not only light. It is not endless positivity, eternal sunshine, or constant bliss. No, Jung knew better. The self is wholeness. It is both shadow and light. It is the storm and the calm. It is the wound and the healer. To choose yourself means to stop running from any part of you, to stand in the center of your own contradictions and say, yes, this too is me. Your anger, your tenderness, your fear, your courage, all of it, woven into one unbreakable fabric. And in this integration, something extraordinary happens. Life no longer feels like a battle between who you are and who you should be. The war inside you goes quiet because you are no longer divided. This is freedom. Not the shallow freedom sold by the world, but the profound freedom of authenticity. The kind of freedom no one can give you and no one can take away. And here is the truth you've been circling around since the very beginning. The moment you choose yourself, everything changes because you finally step into alignment with the deepest law of existence, to live as what you truly are. Not an echo of others, not a mask, not a role, but a living, breathing soul. And when you live from that place, every choice becomes clarity. Every step becomes purpose. Every breath becomes yours. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is that privilege. This is that moment, and it belongs to you. So let me leave you with one final question, not for your mind, but for your soul. If not now, when? If not you, who? Write it in the comments right now. I choose myself. Because in declaring it, you don't just type words on a screen, you carve them into the story of your life. And from this moment forward, everything changes.